Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photo chats. So today I'm going to talk about printing these photographs that I make with my Rolleiflex. It's an absolute honor to know my work is being displayed in people's homes. If somebody orders multiple pictures, sometimes I won't have the ability to frame them all. But I'll probably find a 5x5 frame at a yard sale or a thrift store before I deliver these. And I will, because there's 4 of these in here, and I want to present my work in a frame. This family asked for a portrait, and I found this frame at a local thrift store. And my thing is, I want to make my work exist. Prints are photography for me. It matters to me that my work is seen in regular use on a bureau, on a desktop, on a shelf somewhere. I want to make photographs as photographs that live outside of electronic screens. That may not be for everybody, but it's certainly for me. If you're thinking about what is my strategy for photography, it's to make photographs that live in a frame, in a photograph, on paper. And I offer hand-printed photographs as well. I have a full darkroom here, and I would be glad to make a silver-based gelatin silver print on fiber museum quality paper, hand printed. And while I offer these at no cost, there is a cost for the hand printed museum quality silver photograph print. And that cost is $1,500. And I use that cost to help offset the cost of producing all of the prints that I give away, to offset the film costs. And if anybody ever asks, isn't that a lot to ask for a single print? It only took you a couple of minutes to make that photograph. I say, no, it took me 38 years to make that photograph. And my experience is what makes that photograph possible. And I certainly don't get a lot of orders for silver print photographs. But I'm not doing it because I'm trying to market this into a money-making machine. I'm doing this because if I photograph you, I get to have you in my gallery as part of this collection. I have an exhibit down at the Colorado Photographic Arts Center right now. It's their member show, and I have a photograph in it of my 2 skater boys that I probably talked about in the past from the Scott Kelby walk last fall, and that photograph is hanging. When I make this work, if they don't want to make a print, if they just download it and share it that way, that's okay with me. I make it a downloadable file large enough that they could print and it'll be good quality. I'm not looking to keep it off of their accessibility. I want them to have access to a great file. I want my work to look great. I'm not putting watermarks on it. I'm making my work readily available to them. But then when it comes to printing those photographs, whether they want it in a digital form, whether they want it in a silver-based form, whether I use it for my own purposes in gallery shows, that's my win. My win is I also have access to these photographs to use them for other things, to show my work, to talk to Ilford. I'm talking to Ilford about doing a story about this latest project. Those photographs are now in my collection, and my rights allow me to use those for art and for display and for all the things that I can do with them as a photographer, as a person working and making an art gallery out of this work. But the print is ideally the most important thing to me. There's another photo show coming up at the Colorado Photographic Arts Center if you're in Denver in September, and there is a show, I think it's up for about a month, and it's a street photography show. And I have 2 photographs from this series in there. That's what this work is good for. It gives me access to being able to deliver work to galleries, to shows, to be able to have places to display my work. And then when they end up in homes, this is a win, a simple win, because I get to make work that isn't large, isn't, 40 by 40 on their over their mantle. But it's 5x5 or 8x8 right next to where they live, and it brings my work out, and people share it when they visit. People see it on a daily basis. That's the goal for me, is print work. Make work that exists and make it continue to exist. That's how I create legacy. That's how I create a name for what I do as a photographer, making these portraits, doing the work I do. All right, that's today's photography talk. Hey, if you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, I would appreciate your Patreon, and I'll be back next week. We'll talk more photography. As always, here's to good light.